guys, making another video. Actually, it's an update video. As y'all can see, I'm at our tiny little drop yard out here in Hinckley, Ohio. It's like nothing out here. It's me, a few other trucks, 5 people on home time, a few other load trailers, and that's it. That dude over there is probably the only one. He's actually actually in his truck right now. Outside just me, I'm the only one here. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick little update video because I haven't made one in a little minute. I actually ran across several fans when I was up in the Gary terminal yesterday or the day before yesterday. And the guy was like, "When are you gonna make another video, man? You haven't dropped one in a while." I'm like, uh, I'll make one. Sorry about that. I'll definitely get on it. Oh, there's a. See, the ambient light's a little better. Alright, that is better. Alright, so yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions and whatnot, and I don't want people to think I've been ignoring them. I've just been real busy with training and then finishing up with Andrew. By the way, shout out to Andrew. Congratulations on finishing training and getting your own truck. He's going to be a great driver. Don't worry about getting lost. It's going to happen, but just like the other day when it happened, you handle it just fine. As you can see, it's not that big a deal. As long as you just stay on the truck route, you'll be fine. But oh shoot. But outside of that, Andrew's gonna be an outstanding driver. Outstanding driver. Phone stand fell over. Anyway, so yeah, been getting a few questions and whatnot dropped onto the onto various videos. So I'm gonna go through and answer some of them. I pulled up as many as I could as far as my history would allow me to. I've noticed that there are also a lot of the same questions too. So I'm just gonna go down the list real quick. Let's see. First up, I'm a steep. I think I'm saying that right. How many hours a day do you drive? Excuse me, guys. I'm getting a little midnight snack while making this video. How many hours a day do you drive? Well, once you start your day, you can drive up to 11 hours within a 14-hour time span. What I typically do, like right now, it's currently 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, excuse me, 3 o'clock in the morning. If I were to start driving right about now, I would probably drive about my full 11 hours for the day. For the simple fact that by the time I stop, it'll be in the middle of the day. Most truck stops, about 95% of truck stops, are going to be about halfway empty, about 50% empty. It's going to be relatively easy to find a parking spot. So you can get away with driving your full 11 hours if you start way early in the morning and finish up early afternoon, like 1 or 2 o'clock. And we're around that time, yeah, you can drive your full 11. If you start driving like in the morning and you're going to finish driving for that day around 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I recommend have a place in mind where you want to stop at and leave about an hour or so on your drive time left for the day when you stop. So if you can drive for 11 hours a day, you should theoretically, in my mind, the way I do it, is try to find a parking spot around 10 hours in. That way, just in case your option 1 does not work, you still have drive time to be able to find another spot, because you don't want to drive all day, drive 10 hours, 45 minutes, leave yourself 15 minutes to find a parking spot, and then you pull into the truck stop and it's 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's nowhere to park because everybody else is thinking the same way you are, except they got there a little bit earlier. So, yeah, and if you're stopping in the middle of the night, like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you might as well start looking when you have 2 hours left on your clock, because 95% of the places are going to be completely packed. More often than not, you're going to end up going somewhere and making your own parking spot, stopping that late at night. So that's how I drive. I prefer night driving, and I prefer night driving Less cars out, less traffic. I can run through big cities and whatnot and not have anything really slowing me up. So that's my preference. All right. Sandman Quentin asked, how hard is it to get on the home daily fleet after to get your CDL program? I don't know exactly what numbers they require because I'm not trying to aspire to get to the get your I'm not trying to aspire to the get home everyday fleet. They don't have that out in Augusta where I live. Um, However, I have heard that regional guys, they require you to at least put in 40,000 miles OTR or have some kind of other equivalent experience. That's what I've heard. I don't know for sure. Like I said, I'm not trying to push and find out. Um, I'm not trying to push towards that because I'm out here being OTR and that's what I do. So that's all I'm really worried about. I mean, then again, it also depends on, do they need people in your region to run local? I mean, they might say, hey, you got to drive 40,000 miles. Hey, you might have to wait a year. But if they're like five or so drivers short, you know, and nobody's showing interest, but you have somebody that's actually showing interest, I'm sure they're willing to slide the rules. Don't hold me to it, but that would be my train of thought if I was in some kind of supervising role, especially if you have a good driving record. You show you can handle the job very well. I would slide that rule. I would slide any kind of rules to the side to allow you to get that position to fill the slot that we're down a guy in. Um, so yeah, I guess it's just based off of needs of the company, needs in that region, what the freight is looking like, and if you live close enough to do it. I would venture to also say that I think it is smart to come out and do some time over the road before just jumping into some kind of local position like that. Because chances are you're going to be driving into the cities and you're going to need to be pretty decent at backing and understand what you're doing before just hopping in the seat and trying to back somewhere in Chicago or something. You don't want to do that. TCH left several comments about driving in the Northeast. He was like, Rail does a lot of the business up there. I run in New York pretty often. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know how this ends up happening, but as far as going to New York City, that seems to only happen whenever I have a trainee. Like when I'm by myself, I never run to the city. I don't know why. I don't question it. I don't really care. Miles are miles to me. Now somebody said, well, if you're running a lot of Northeast, so you kind of deters you from wanting to come to the company. Okay, understand that whether you run 500 miles out in Colorado or 500 miles between Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and all those states, 500 miles is 500 miles. It doesn't matter where you're going. Those miles are not going to be any longer or shorter, depending on what region of the country you're in. Now, it could be a little bit more frustrating because out west, you're running the speed limit is like 75, 80. You don't really have to, like nothing slowing you down. In the city, especially in the New England area, yes, you're going to run into traffic. Yes, you're going to have that. So your day might be a little bit less productive. But as long as you're really, you run in and out, you get in and out, you gotta do what you gotta do. You pick up, or you make your delivery. You get your next load, and you keep it pumping. As long as you're doing that and you're making the miles that you want to make at the end of the week, does it really matter? 3,000 miles by Saturday at midnight is 3,000 miles. Doesn't matter whether you run it out in Colorado, if you run, the East Coast. 3,000 miles is 3,000 miles. It's going to be the same exact paycheck. So I mean, if you don't want to run Northeast, I mean, I guess you can say it, but I've heard people saying they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, and they wonder why they don't really get many miles. So I mean, that's that. Um, Cortaview, something like that. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. He asked, do we have APUs in our trucks? No, we have the EPUs. Honestly, it's plenty good enough for me. And I am a very hot-natured person as it is, so I keep the cold air pumping. And, I mean, it runs fine. It keeps the truck plenty cool enough for me. No matter whether it's in the middle of the day or the middle of the night. Like, the truck stays plenty cool enough for me. So, if I can handle it, I'm sure most other people can come out here and be just fine with that, with having the EPU in the truck. Also, what is our governed speed? The trucks are governed at 65 miles an hour. That's what we run. Now we do have 20 minutes worth of reserve speed in the truck. So basically while you're driving, you just tap the gas pedal twice, kind of like you would in an arcade game or whatever. and and it will give the truck a boost up to 67 miles an hour. And you can either A, run it all the whole 20 minutes out right then and there, or just save it and conserve it throughout the day. And the reason behind that is nobody likes being that person that's, you're out here driving, CR England's tuned at like what, 63 and a half, 64, and you're doing 65. You finally try to go around them, then you get in the left-hand lane to go around them, and it takes you forever in a day. It kind of sucks. And then next thing you know, you have a long, line of cars and trucks behind you. Everybody's flashing their high beams, calling you every name but what you're actually given as your birth name. And it is what it sucks being that guy. So what happens is you tap the gas pedal, you go up to 67. Now you're doing 67, passing a guy doing 64. It cuts down on the amount of time you're spending hanging out in the left-hand lane, holding up traffic, kind of creating a safety issue. So that's the reason behind it. I typically try to conserve that 67 throughout the entire day. And then when it's like the last, if I know like, hey, I'm going to be stopping soon for the day and that's it, and I know I only have so much longer left, and I have about 5 or 10 minutes left on of that 67 miles an hour, yeah, I'm going to engage it. I'm just going to let it ride, because at the end of that, by the time that 67 miles an hour is up, I'm stopping for the day. That's how I do it. Can you choose to drive a manual? I don't know for sure if you can or can't choose. I know that you go through the class, and if you go through an automatic class, it is what it is. You're just going to have to drive an automatic truck. I've had trainees who have gone through and they drove a manual truck to get your CDL. And then while they're out here in my truck, because I have an automatic, their fleet manager will call them and say, hey, what kind of truck does your trainer have? Well, he has an automatic. Okay, well, what did you get your CDL in? I got my CDL in the manual, but you spend all your time driving an automatic. You came out here on the road and training the automatic. I've had some students come out here and get an automatic truck after getting off my truck, even though they got their license in the stick shift truck. I would say I'd be more worried about trying to get my license that's a stick shift rather than just getting an automatic. And the reason behind that is, if you get an automatic license, or a license with an automatic restriction, that's all you can drive. And if you want to get, let's say you want to go to a company but they have manual trucks, then you will have to go back and pay out of your own pocket to retake the test in a manual. Whereas if you just come in and get your license with the manual truck, then you don't have to worry about having to pay that money out your pocket to get your license redone. So if you get a manual, if you go through the program and get your license under a manual, that's the best thing, because that doesn't go anywhere. You're not going to forget. It's like riding a bike. All right, Bruce Ryder asked, do I train out of Marshfield? I'm kind of some things I noticed. I think people are getting misconception. I'm not a get your CDL instructor. I am a driver trainer. So basically, once you finish your CDL program, you have to go on the road with a trainer, and they'll teach you how to do the job. That's where I come in. I'm that guy that you get in the truck with them, you live with them for 19 to 21 days, and they teach you how to be an effective, safe driver that understands the safe 7 and drives the safe 7. That's my job. I'm not the person that teaches you what you need to do to get your license. So with that being said, I get trainees out of everywhere. You're not just limited from Gary to Marshfield or Appleton or Conley. I legit get students out of any terminal. Whatever terminal has a CDL class that just finished that needs students to go out with a trainer, I'll pick them up. They'll usually have them meet me somewhere, and we'll start together from there. I had one trainee come out to where I live out in Augusta and stayed in the truck the night before I launch back out in the morning. I had one meet me in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've picked up several from terminals. So it really just depends on where the students are. But I train students out of all the terminals. I'm not limited to just one or two terminals. Uh, I train them anywhere, and it's just a matter of who needs to actually go out with the train and who's ready. All right. I'm gonna make a chain up video. That's all the questions that I have that I pulled from the comments and notifications. If there's any more, drop them, and I'll make another video. Um, I got fresh new chains for, excuse me, tire cables for my tires. I guess my fleet manager has big plans for me to run out west in the middle of the winter, so that should be fun. Some states require that you have chains starting September 1st. Some places it gets cold enough to where it could possibly snow and ice that early on, but they require that you have them on your truck. So I'll go ahead and make a chain up video at some point about how to chain your tires, or chain them slash tire cables is kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same process. So yeah, that's that. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for all the new viewers and the new subscribers. I appreciate it, and I don't want you to think it's going unnoticed. It's definitely going noticed, and thank you for everything. All right, y'all have a wonderful night, and any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, or anything else that just comes to your mind, drop them in the comments. Shoot me an email, jefficboy2@yahoo.com. We'll chat it up. If you need to talk on the phone, I'll send you my phone number. We'll sit and legit talk on the phone. If you see Andrew commenting on his New York video, ask him, like, hey, does he sit and talk on the phone? And subscribers like, yes. I've had people call me while Andrew was on the truck driving. I was sitting just talking to him on the phone. They're asking me questions. I don't mind answering them. It is what it is. You're taking time out of your life to have, ask me some questions. And what do I look like sitting here saying, shoot me an email and ask me questions and call me, and then you call me and I get upset. That just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, anything, shoot me an email, leave a comment, give me a phone call. We'll figure some stuff out, see what's going on. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm gonna finish this little snack, try to get a few more hours of sleep in, and see what they have me to do in the morning. All right, I'll take it easy.